What is going on, everybody? It's Nick Payne with another episode of Facemask Fantasy. Just want to let everybody know, before I begin, our 2021 Shallow League Redraft draft kit is available now on our website. You can go to facemaskpod.com. I've got player breakdowns, position breakdowns by tiers, plenty of information for you to go in, attack your draft, and build a solid foundation for your team for the 2021 season. If you play in 10 and 12 team leagues, check it out. Now, on to today's topic, profiling yet another rookie running back from the 2021 class and taking a look at their potential fantasy projections for this season. Up today, New England draft pick Rhamondre Stevenson, 4th round pick out of Oklahoma, the 120th overall selection in the draft, joins a Patriots team that has been notorious for using a running back by committee under Bill Belichick's tenure. Stevenson stands at 6 feet tall, about 230 pounds, so he's along the same mold of, say, a LeGarrette Blount. And Blount spent a solid chunk of his career in New England. So, bit of a parallel there. For Stevenson, he didn't get a ton of run with the Sooners. He joined the team in 2019 after 2 years in community college. So, he doesn't have a huge workload from his time at Oklahoma. But when he was on the field, he was effective. Averaged over 7 yards per carry for his career. Proved to be a reliable pass catcher on shorter throws. Absolutely is big enough to pass block in the NFL. And he's an aggressive downhill runner who should be able to act as a change of pace hammer, especially later in games to further tire out the defense. That's the good. Now, from a fantasy perspective, there's a lot to dissect with the landing spot. Damian Harris appears to have a firm hold on early down duties. But again, New England has been contrarian with their running back depth chart under Belichick. They will utilize whomever they feel like depending on the matchup. Who the actual listed starter is does not always matter for New England. But to Harris's credit, he averaged 5 yards per carry in 2020, should have an inside track for the job. James White is still there, remains as the pass-catching back. His role remains unchanged. And of course, Cam Newton will vulture goal line work for as long as he's the starter. That caps the ceiling of any Patriots running back other than White. Finally, there's Sony Michel. Michel was actually solid in limited opportunities in 2020, but he dealt with injuries and missed a lot of time. Was a very up and down year for him. The drafting of Stevenson, the team declined Michel's 5th-year option. This would all suggest that Sony is in his final year with the team. And it's possible he's gone even sooner. Because if Stevenson can outplay Sony Michel in camp, they would play very similar roles for the Patriots. And the team could easily decide to save money on the books now if they feel like Stevenson has made Michel expendable. But that's dependent on how Stevenson looks in camp. Which brings us to the present day, which is the start of training camp. And the most recent report isn't exactly coming up roses for Stevenson. First week of camp, Patriots running back coach Ivan Fears was asked about what Stevenson needed to work on. His response was, literally, it was quote, unquote, everything. He said everything. He needs to work on everything. Fears seems to be implying the running back has a lot to learn about the intricacies of the job itself, and seems to be suggesting it's not all about being able to take a handoff and run over a defender. Now, how much stock you want to put into this is up to you. But it's pretty often to hear coaches raving about their players in camp at any opportunity they get, on any occasion. So I'll just say I do have some caution for Stevenson's early season prospects, given that review. I'd say it also, naturally, boosts Sony Michel's prospects for making the team. For now, Stevenson remains a later round pick in dynasty rookie drafts with some absolute real upside for down the road, because by 2022, it's likely the Patriots move on from both Sony Michel and Cam Newton. So that's going to boost Stevenson's floor for not just opportunities, but potential goal line work. But I do think his fantasy impact for 2021 is minimal at best. Harris is the likely starter, White is locked into his 3rd down pass catching role, and Michel is likely to operate as the early change of pace back if Stevenson does not show drastic improvement while in camp. He could end up having a role down the road in 2021, but I do think he remains fourth on the depth chart if the Patriots decide to keep Michel. If Stevenson turns it around in camp and ends up being the Patriots RB3, then trust me, he becomes much more appealing as a late-round flyer this year. And history has shown that it can often pay dividends to draft the cheapest running back in the New England backfield if you do, in fact, invest in this backfield in some way. So he's absolutely somebody worth monitoring, but I would not expect too much for this season as long as Sony Michel makes the team. What do you guys think? Any thoughts whatsoever on Rhamondre Stevenson, and where are you adding him, if anywhere, in 2021 fantasy? Put your thoughts in the comment section below. We can have a conversation about this. Till then, this is Nick Payne with Facemask Fantasy, producing fantasy content for you each and every day. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening.